Welcome back to Console Crapshoot, where we spin a wheel to play a random video game on original hardware. Carl's back on track. We just passed 40 episodes, and I don't want to jinx it, but I have a really good feeling about this one. Oh, cool, we got the Quest 3. We haven't had that yet. I don't have a lot of VR games, but I put what I had on this wheel. About 34 games, and it's a cross between Quest games and older Rift games from when I had that. Oh, yes! Star Wars Squadrons. Oh, I love playing this, and I have an extra cool setup just for this. So this game, you need a PC for it. This is my custom PC, and I have a Logitech GX56 HOTAS set. Basically, it's a really nice flight stick and a separate piece for throttle. They're really heavy. It feels pretty much like you're flying something. It's amazing. These controllers combined with this game in VR is just next level experience. It's probably one of the coolest experiences I can have with my setup, and it's made up of stuff I've never even showed on the channel before, so this is really cool. And if you're saying, oh, this channel's supposed to be consoles and this is technically a PC, well, to that I say, nuh-uh, shut up, I want to play this. Yeah, you need your PC. I count the Quest as a console, but for this I do need my PC. But shut up, I'll give you my address and we can fist fight about it. How about that? It basically feels like you are in a TIE fighter or an X-Wing or whatever. I am in a Star Wars.
Here's some money, go see a Star Wars.
And that's probably going to be really hard to convey. It's not going to look as cool because you're probably watching this on a tiny phone and it's like, you know, less than 50% of your phone screen. It's really small, but trust me, it feels amazing. I'm looking around this cockpit, the sound is in my ears, the whine of the engines, the lasers. When you hit the throttle forward, you really feel it lurch forward. I cannot even describe how fun this is. Anything I say is not going to do it justice. Trust me, try to use your imagination. I'm in a TIE fighter. It's amazing. You're surrounded by ships. You look up, there's giant capital ships and star destroyers, ships flying by you, explosions. And the story mode, it's short. Like, I mean, you can beat the story mode. You can beat this game in probably about 8 hours, which I did as quickly as I could when it came out. It's really addicting. It goes back and forth between two dueling squadrons, an Empire squadron and a Rebellion squadron, and you just kind of go back and forth in the story. It does get a little confusing. There's a lot of controls. And yeah, just so you know, this game was made for VR, but you can play it without VR, and it does look a lot better. If you have a nice PC here, I'll just show you what it looks like without VR. This is just me playing on my monitor. Playing in full 4K, it's absolutely gorgeous, but I do prefer the VR. I play like this sometimes, but the experience in VR just makes the whole thing such a different animal. And the characters are just fine, the stories are a little lame, and whether or not you interact with them doesn't really have any bearing on the story whatsoever. Look at this on the side here. My throttle in real life is on the left side in my left hand, and if you look over in the ship, there it is, and it looks almost just like it. It feels so cool. When you start getting shot down and taking damage and there's cracks in your glass and your ship is smoking, you get a legit feeling of fear that you don't get in regular games because you're just looking at a screen, you're detached from it. But here I'm sitting in this cockpit, and while I know it's not real, it definitely plays with your senses in a different way. The story mode is short, like I said, but I feel like they curated a good amount of variety. There's more on top of the story mode that the game has to offer. I mean, my favorite thing is to just drop into the practice mode. I like to just grab a ship and fly around all this Star Destroyer wreckage, and then you can generate fighters to kill, or you can kind of just race around and do time trials. When people are over my house and I want to show them this, I want to show them the flight stick setup and the VR, I'll just stick them in this practice thing. It's endlessly fun. Oh, it's you. I know you. Hey, you guys, you know what this is? When the game came out, I did play a lot of multiplayer. There was a lot of multiplayer missions that you can do, a lot of dogfighting. I got really into that, and there's also kind of like multiplayer versus AI campaigns, taking down Star Destroyers and things like that. But this game's a few years old now, and I tried getting into a multiplayer match and I couldn't. I feel like no one's playing it anymore, which is sad because it's such a unique experience. All right, let's go to the verdict. Star Wars Squadrons for technically the PC, but I'm playing it on the Quest 3. We had a little treat today, something different. Yeah, I love it. I was a huge fan of the old PC games, the TIE Fighter and X-Wing games on the floppy disks. I absolutely loved those games. And I loved the Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader series of games too. Huge into those. So while those games on paper are better games, they really are better games than this. This VR experience cannot be beat. It's all about the experience here, and it's one of my favorite things to do in video games. And I think that's saying a lot considering all the stuff I've got here. I'm gonna give this a solid 4 out of 5 though. It's a great game. There's a lot of room for improvement. I wish they would have made a sequel to it. I wish they would have expanded on this formula and given it everything that it's missing. I highly recommend playing it the way I'm playing it though. A lot of people played it. They got it on Xbox, they got it on their PS4, and they just played it with their controller, and it's fun to pick up and do, but it got boring real quick. This doesn't get old. This is so different and so cool. I don't want to peel myself away from this game, but my mac and cheese is here, so I'm gonna go, and I will see you all next week. Thanks everyone.